What's cooking, guys, and welcome to my channel. In today's video I'm making a chocolate cake made with almond flour. I was quite surprised that I have not made that many chocolate desserts on my channel. I am a chocolate lover. Anybody who knows me on a personal level knows I love chocolate. Any kind of chocolate, milk chocolate, dark chocolate, even a little bit of white chocolate depending on what kind of dessert it's in. But I am a chocolate lover. Chocolate and coffee are my two favorite things in this world. So one of you had commented on one of my videos and asked me to make a dessert using almond flour, and instantly I thought about this cake because it's a great mix of chocolate and almond flavors without that heavy all-purpose flour feeling that you get eating a chocolate cake made with all-purpose flour. So if you are someone who is on like a low-carb diet, this is a great dessert recipe for you. So keep watching for the recipe. Do consider subscribing if you enjoy easy recipes like mine. And now let's get baking. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. In the meantime, grease a 9-inch cake pan or a spring-form pan and set it aside. Now let's make the batter, and for that I have 3/4 cups of unsalted butter. To this I'm going to add half a cup of heavy cream, which will add a richness to the batter. And then add in some good quality semi-sweet chocolate chips or even baker's chocolate. I have 2 cups here, or 1 pound of it. Then put this in the microwave to melt all of the ingredients together, and I put it in for 1.5 minutes, but every microwave is different, guys, so just check your settings. Remove it from the microwave and whisk it up to see if it has melted well, and this looks good to me, so I'm going to keep on whisking to incorporate all 3 ingredients. Once it's mixed, set it aside and let it cool. Now I have 6 large eggs here at room temperature. I'm going to be separating the egg yolks from the egg whites. We will be using the yolks and the whites, but in separate steps. That's why it's important to separate them at this stage. Set aside the whites for now. We'll get to those in a few. Now I'm going to add just the yolks into the chocolate mixture, and I'm adding them slowly and whisking as I add. This will help the eggs to temper with the warm chocolate mixture and not curdle or start cooking. Let's move on to beating the egg whites. With a hand or stand mixer, beat the egg whites till they form stiff peaks. Be patient in this process. It does take a few good minutes, but doing this step will help the cake to be light and fluffy. After beating halfway, I did add half a cup of sugar, as you can see in there. I thought I filmed that part of me adding in the sugar, but I totally wasn't. Once you add in the sugar, continue to beat the egg whites to form those stiff peaks I mentioned earlier. And by the time I finished beating these egg whites, my arm felt like it was going to fall off. But patience is key, as I said, and you'll start seeing the difference in forming those stiff peaks. And once the peaks form, you'll notice when you touch them and you turn your finger over, it's not going to fall off your finger. That's when you know your egg whites are beaten well. So next step, let's add half a teaspoon of almond extract in there, which will add a nice concentrated almond flavor. And then whisk this up till it's well combined. Now add in the egg whites, but in 1/3 increments. I'm adding a little bit and then folding it into the chocolate mix. Do not use a whisk here. Folding the egg whites will keep the cake fluffy. Whisking it is just going to mix everything up and make it very liquidy. Then add in another 1/3 amount and do the same folding method till combined. Now I'm adding in almond flour, which you can make yourself by crushing some almonds powder fine, which will give you that powdery consistency mimicking all-purpose flour. I added 1 cup of it and mixed it well in the batter. Lastly, add in the remaining egg whites and fold one last time really well so it is all combined. You do not want to overmix here, as I said, or else it will become liquidy and watery. The batter will look so chocolatey and velvety as you can see, and I can already tell this cake will be amazing. Now that the batter is all done, I'm going to pour it into my 9-inch greased cake pan here. As I mentioned earlier, you can even use a springform pan if you have one. The batter will be liquidy because there's no flour in there besides the almond flour, but it's still going to be very decadent regardless. Let's put this in the oven for 45 minutes or depending on your oven temperature, but just keep an eye out on it. And after 45 minutes or so, insert a skewer or toothpick, and if it comes out clean, it's done. And there should be no jiggle in the middle of the cake. I'm going to let this cool in the pan for 20 minutes or so and then remove it from the pan. And while my cake is cooling, I want to share my easy chocolate ganache recipe. Let's put half a cup of heavy cream in a microwavable bowl and then add in 3/4 cups of semi-sweet chocolate chips, or you can use baker's chocolate. Melt this in the microwave for 1 minute or depending on your microwave setting till the chocolate has melted. And once the chocolate has melted, you're going to whisk this all together to incorporate the heavy cream and the chocolate chips together. Add in 1 tablespoon of butter in there, and the butter will melt and make the ganache nice and shiny. Let the ganache cool down for like 10 minutes before pouring it onto the cake. Now let's pour the ganache all over the cooled cake like that. This looks incredibly rich and decadent and would go perfect with a glass of cold milk right about now. I'm going to top it with some sliced almonds to hint that there's almond in the cake too, and it's just a simple and beautiful decoration as well. Now our cake is all done. Let it cool for a bit before serving, and if you want a more fudge-like cake texture, you can cool it in the fridge for a couple of hours. Serve this with homemade whipped cream or even with ice cream. I hope you enjoyed my easy chocolate cake recipe made with almond flour. You do not need to make cake with regular flour, and this is a great option for those of you who want to try a different type of dessert. I appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe before leaving, and I will see you in my next video, guys. Until then, take care of yourselves.